Now, the Controller of Budget has released the full-year budget implementation report for the financial year 2022-2023, meaning the year ended June this year. It is not shocking to see how far the country has come with the public debt. We have crossed the debt ceiling following continued debt appetite and the effects of a depreciating shilling, especially against the dollar, which is the main denominator of Kenya's foreign debt. But the dwindling proportion of resources spent on development programs has also caught my attention. Despite the growing size of the national budget, the government spent slightly below 15% of resources on development projects. One may understand the financial pressure the government faces when it has to spend over 1 trillion shillings on servicing debt and another more than 1 trillion shillings to finance the operations of the government. But the pain is in the details. Over 20 billion shillings was spent on travel, both domestic and foreign. The political class, meaning the office of the President, Deputy President, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, and the institution of Parliament spent 10.7 billion shillings, which is more than half of the entire travel expenditure, moving around the country or abroad for various events. The rest of the public sector, including the judiciary, shared 9.6 billion shillings. Now, the government spent 8.6 billion shillings on hospitality. More than a quarter of that was spent by the presidency. Well, government offices receive a lot of guests who need to be entertained, or simply put, made comfortable to facilitate important deliberations for the benefit of the country. Just last week, nearly half of the cabinet was out of the country, some to the US, others to South America, and others in Europe. Accompanying the top officials were aides and other officers forming part of the delegations. But then the National Treasury keeps talking about austerity measures. The head of public service has released various circulars limiting the number of days allowed to travel annually. In a memo dated 29th of June 2023, Felix Koskei decried the reality that travel guidelines were not being followed. In that circular, the head of public service directed that no senior officials would be allowed to travel for more than 7 days a month, 15 days per quarter, meaning 3 months, and no more than 45 days a year. He also directed that every official traveling out of the country for official engagement must, upon return, make individual reports on the benefits accrued from the travel and file them with the immediate oversight office. Well, it would be interesting to find out how many reports have been filed and what is the content. The point is, Kenyans require value for their money. 20 billion shillings may look so little when matched against a budget of 3.67 trillion shillings. But 20 billion shillings is enough to finance Lamu County for 6 consecutive years, based on its current allocation of the equitable share. 20 billion shillings is sufficient to finance the free primary education program across the country for more than 1.5 years. That is, based on the current year's allocation. The value of travel should be seen in the public interest deals signed, the knowledge repatriated, and how it is implemented back in the country to improve the lives of Kenyans at a time that the economic situation has left many citizens disoriented. Taking selfies by traveling delegates as they enjoy the time of their lives is no problem. Coming back home and cracking a joke that you have a few dollars is okay. But it is not enough for a citizenry that looks up to its leadership. And we now learn that several public officers chase for travel, whether local or foreign, for the extra coin and the foreign currency. Well, we all need money, but public money should only be enjoyed while serving value to Kenyans, knowing that holding such a public office or state office is a privilege, an expression of trust by the people of Kenya to deliver on the promise to make lives better. Anything short of this should be met with an implementation of what the head of public service recommended, and that is that ministries, departments, and agencies should opt for virtual participation of international conferences and workshops. He also said that priority for physical attendance should be granted to technical officers with requisite subject matter expertise. Get this, subject matter expertise, nothing short. And that is my sense tonight.